Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking with Sab. Today we have made a delicious, delightful dessert. We made sugar cookies. It was so good. You guys, this came out of the oven. It was crispy, it was soft on the inside. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is set our oven at 350 degrees. So I have 4 cups of flour here, and what you want to do is sift the flour. And what does it mean when you're sifting flour? Sifted flour means you should sift the flour before measuring it. The reason is because the actual amount of flour you are measuring changes when it has been sifted. So once you sift it, you want to make sure you measure with your measuring cup that you have 4 cups once again, because it might be extra or it might be a little less, so you just want to make sure it's perfect. And during the sifting process, we are also getting rid of clumps. We do not want any clumps, so as you see here, we have lots of little clumps, and that would go into your baking process and leave little chunks of unnecessary clumps that we don't want in our cookie. So we just want to get rid of those and get a nice smooth consistency. Now let's get started on the more complex part, I should say. It's not that complex, but we gotta do it quickly. Now, we're gonna add in to the 4 cups of flour that we sifted, we're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and then I'm adding 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt. Then you just wanna mix everything together, the baking powder and the sea salt. And you could use regular salt too if you'd like. You don't have to use sea salt. I just prefer sea salt. Just combine everything and set that aside, and then we're just gonna go get started on the wet ingredients. Okay, so I have 1 stick and a half of a stick of butter at room temperature. We have 2 cups of sugar, 2 eggs, and vanilla extract. So what you're going to do, you're going to add in the room temperature butter. Make sure your butter is at room temperature. It's not cold and it's not melted. And then we're going to add in the sugar, and you're just going to mix it on speed 1 or 2, just like a medium low speed. You don't want it too high because this will splatter everywhere. And you're going to mix it until you get a nice creamy fluffy mixture. Once you've done that, you're going to add in your 2 eggs. And I added 1 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and just combine that really well and keep stirring that and mixing it until you get a fluffy mixture. And you want soft peaks to form. So as you see, and make sure you occasionally scrape down the sides when you're mixing just to get everything. And this took me about 5 to 6 minutes, the entire process of the butter and the sugar and the creaming. And then once you've done that, you're going to add in your flour. I'm doing this in 3 different parts so it doesn't get too messy and I don't have flour all over my kitchen. So go ahead and just stir that up, and then you'll get a pretty thick doughy consistency, but make sure it's a consistency that you can work with. So as you'll see that I can work with it, and I do. Make sure you test it every now and then that it's not too clumpy, because it looks clumpy. It kind of scares you at first because you're like, oh my god, this is not looking like dough. But trust me, once you combine everything and use a little spatula to just flatten everything down and just really combine everything after, you'll see that it starts to form into dough. So the great thing about this dough is that it does not need to be chilled prior to baking. So you want to separate out however much you want from the rest of the dough, place it in some clear wrap, and keep it in the fridge until next time when you're ready to bake it. And when you do bake it, when you take it out, let it hit room temperature before baking. You do not want it to be cold. So now that we have that out of the way, you are going to form your dough into a little circle, or as flat as you can, onto some parchment paper. And then you're going to lay another piece of parchment paper over it. And then you're going to use a rolling pin or whatever you have, like me, a cup, and roll the dough into about a 1/4 inch thick. And I don't have a rolling pin, forgive me, I will add that to the list of things I have to buy. Every time I'm cooking or baking, there's always something new I need, and I'm just like, oh no, my list is getting longer and longer. Anyways, whatever works, right? I even used the top of the cup to form my cookies, and it made a perfect shape, better than a cookie cutter, I would say. Anyways, once you've done that, you want to go ahead and place your cookies onto the dish with aluminum foil, and then you're going to sprinkle some sugar over it and repeat the same process with the dough. So just keep rolling it out, forming shapes. You could do any shape you'd like. You can do the dough as thick or as thin as you'd like as well. That's the great thing about this dough. As you see, I'm using a smaller measuring cup to to cut the cookies, and I just put some sugar on top. You don't have to put sugar on top, but it lets people know that they're eating a sugar cookie, and it just gives it a little more of an authentic look. And repeat the process for the rest of the dough, and whatever you don't have left, go ahead and put it in some clear wrap and just save it for next time. So this is going in the oven for 350 degrees for about 8 minutes until the sides get golden brown, but be careful, this does burn really fast. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on my sugar cookies. I hope you guys give this a try, like this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more recipes. Hit the bell for future notifications, and as always, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye!